Everybody to This Is My Bourbon podcast. I'm your host Perry, and with me on the other side of town because I got sick kids and a sick wife.
That's how it is sometimes.
It's the Whiskey Mutant.
It's me.
Hey, brother.
Slightly out of my depression from last episode where we were talking about sports and things, and now Kentucky's lost to John Calipari. The Bills have lost. They're out.
That was an unnecessary loss.
So I hate sports for the next little bit.
Yep. Fair enough. You know what I don't hate, though, is telling you that you can support the show by heading to patreon.com/mybourbonpodcast for as little as $1 a month, but for as little as $5 a month, you can get some bonus content over there. Which includes, but is not limited to, the pregame chats that we do before every episode, an uncut version of the podcast, which is just bonus content from us. You get that early as well. And a bonus episode that comes out every Monday as well. This week we did Simply Irresistible. Eric and I recorded that last night. We split this recording session up into two parts.
It feels like it's been 3 weeks, honestly.
It really does.
It was attempted on Friday, then it got moved to Saturday, then part of it got recorded. Now we're on Sunday, so it's but the show must go on because we love you guys.
Yes,
even if our wives hate us.
I've been a great husband and father. What are you talking about? Does your wife hate you?
All the time.
Look, would she be more upset with you if you did this right now or you recorded late and you had to get up at 5 a.m. to go to work?
She would say, do whatever the hell you want to. I don't care anymore. Doesn't that sound like April?
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No, she doesn't. I'm just playing. I knew, though, it's probably tough when you got spouses who are running down to their basements to drink whiskey and record while things are going on. So I thumbs up to all the wives out there.
We had to get it done eventually.
I know. I'm just saying. I'll take all that back about hating us, because we definitely, if they were really wanting to be, if they really hated us, we wouldn't be recording this episode right now.
That's true.
So I'm just trying to be fun. But that is something April would say. You can do whatever the hell you want to. Don't wake me up.
She has said that. I've heard her say that before.
Right.
I managed to find a liquid death.
It's like gold these days.
It's crazy. But it was the sparkling one. I prefer the still these days.
Yeah.
But there's a sketchy little convenience store in my neighborhood. And I went in. And I was like, because I had to go out to go get medicine for Eden. And I went into Kroger, and I didn't want to get like a 8-pack of liquid deaths. I didn't have room in my mini fridge for it. So I was like, well, I'll just go to the gas station. Gas station didn't have any.
And you're like, I should have got the 8-pack.
Should have gotten the 8-pack. So then I went to the sketchy convenience store. And I was like, you got to be kidding me. Like I couldn't find it at first. And then all I saw was the sparkling one. And I was like, this is fine. I'm okay with this. And the guy who was there was like, are you looking for anything in particular? And I was like, nah, this is it. I found it. He's like, man, you're the only person who has bought one of those in months. I was like,
so it's been sitting there forever.
Yeah. I was like, you mean like liquid death? And he was like, no, sparkling water.
This is a test. This is like, they're going to see how much they can get you to like deplete that inventory so they make their money. They really do have. They have the good stuff in the back. They're just not going to bring it out till you at least go through 10 cans of the sparkling.
I think they only had like 4 left. So I'm just going to go buy the rest of their stock, I guess.
Might as well. Sketch it, bro. Sketchy as hell. Liquid death. They hand you bleach. They're like, here's liquid death.
This is because don't drink this, but this is a bonus. So we normally kick off episodes with Flying Blind or Sips and Snacks, and we had a special Sips and Snacks planned this week, and it look.
Go through the process.
As we said, we originally were going to record on Friday. Then it got pushed to Saturday because of illness. And after Saturday, it got pushed to Sunday because of illness again. And the special Sips and Snacks involved a new donut place in Lexington called Jeff's Donuts that is open 24 hours a day. Most donut places are not open 24 hours a day because, you have to bake donuts constantly. So Friday, I got Eric's samples ready. I halved the donuts for him so that he could record and pair with me. Last night, we started planning out our pairings. And Eric, what happened to the donuts?
Well, I got to taste some last night. If you listen to Patreon content, we tried some because you had a bunch. And we were like, we're going to pick a really special one and an interesting pairing. And I got up today and I didn't pay attention. And I did some stuff, my workout, blah, blah, blah. Then I got down here to record and I went to grab the donuts that I had put back in the fridge to keep them a little fresh. And they were gone. Because I have a house full of heathens who apparently were hungry. So I have no donut now. So now I'm just going to sit and listen to Perry Pear.
Yeah.
The Pear Bear comes out today.
So I ate the rest of the cinnamon roll last night.
Oh, my God. That was so good.
It was fantastic. But there is a peanut butter and jelly donut. There's one that's got Rice Krispies on it. There's one that's a blueberry icing, and one that's a raspberry zinger that is made after a Hostess cake.
Yeah.
And I don't want to sit here and torture you and pair the zinger.
You have to.
Okay.
It's going to go bad, and I want you to pair it with a rye.
Oh, okay. Oh, we talked about this last night, didn't we?
Yeah, I think it will go great with a rye. And I had my bottle ready.
What's that? Is that a Lawrenceburg rye?
This is a Lawrenceburg rye. It's that 10 by 10 rye.
Oh, yes.
122 proof, 100% rye. 10-year-old.
You know what I never did?
What?
I never hit record on the video.
Nice.
Yeah. So, sorry, YouTube. You're just now getting the video starting up right now.
Hey, we haven't really done anything crazy.
That's fine.
I haven't even showed anything to the camera.
I haven't really either, other than the donuts that were in a bag. But
bag of donuts. Tony, bag of donuts.
Hey, look at that. You know what I think I'm going to pair it with?
What? Raconteur. I knew it.
And I haven't had a bite of this yet either. But I am going to pair it with the new Raconteur Ms. Kiss.
Oh my God.
Right.
I know how good this one would go with it too, because I can smell the vanilla and rye. All right.
I'm so sorry.
Do it. I know that's so good.
It's gotten a little stale.
Well, it has been 3 days.
No.
So this is where the whiskey comes in, because it's going to bring it back to life as soon as you do a pour over. Hey, that was a great pour over. You actually got a little risque with it.
Oh,
Is it good? It looks
you
good.
were right.
Yeah.
You were 100% right.
There's something
The
about
rye was the move.
there's something about a good rye and like a raspberry, because a raspberry's kind of got that tartness. And think of like a spiced raspberry jam or something. Oh,
Right.
but then you have those coconut flakes on there, like, because it's a zinger. If nobody knows what a zinger is, go to the gas station and go to the Hostess cakes, and you'll see they are like the shape. They're like a Twinkie, but they're raspberry cake with the filling, and they got coconut on top of them, and they're so good. They're so delicious. And I just could imagine how good a rye would be on top of a zinger.
And that little bit of the finish with the Ms. Kiss just really helps it pop, too. That's delightful.
Well,
I'm very sorry.
Hey, they're open. I can go get one sometime. I'll have to do that myself. I have to get
You could probably DoorDash it
my kids will just eat it again by the time I go upstairs.
before it got
Yeah,
downstairs.
it wouldn't even make it down here. They'd be like, "Thanks, Dad."
More donuts.
It's crazy.
This is the best day ever.
Donuts in the morning, donuts in the afternoon.
All right. Well, what have you been drinking recently?
Other than the tears of my Buffalo Bills, not a lot. I will say something that sticks out. Sometimes, and I posted this on my story yesterday. Sometimes you just need a big, huge basic ass margarita. Like, we ain't talking no like special cocktail. I'm talking about you go to your favorite little Mexican restaurant and you ask for a medium and it comes in a fish bowl. Like, and you just sit and sip on that. And I had that yesterday at Hacienda. And I swear it was just, I don't know if it's because I hadn't had a good margarita in a while, other than I guess Disney was the last margarita I had, but it's not the same. I mean, we're talking about a craft margarita versus a fish bowl margarita. And you got I know Perry knows exactly what I'm talking about. We've talked about it before. But it's just an oversized, sugary margarita, and you're a little hungry, and you're eating your nachos, your chips and salsa, and you're waiting on your food to come out, and you're just enjoying it. And it could be better, it could be worse, but in that moment, it's heaven. Just like, Fast and Furious, for those 10 seconds or less, I'm free. So when I had that...
It's definitely that, like, pre-made margarita that wasn't, like... Or, like, it didn't have a whole lot of thought that went into it. It's literally just, like...
You order and it's out in 3 seconds.
Tequila.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they just... they're like, small, medium, or large. Oh, I'll take the medium. I'm like, what the hell would the large look like? It would be enough for, like, 5 people.
It's a bucket.
Yeah. Big old bucket. I don't know, man. Like, I hadn't really had anything crazy. And I just enjoyed that moment with that margarita. Sometimes you just need a good margarita.
Well, we drank one of the things I've been having on the Sample Irresistible.
Oh, yeah.
Well, actually,
two of them.
Both of those. So I'll kind of, just go ahead and spoil what those were. But one was the new Russell's pick, or one of the new Russell's picks from It's Bourbon Night, which is called Classic Turkey. It's a Camp Nelson E pick. It was 9 years old, and I think it's really good. It's very different for a Russell's pick. And then the other was a Knob Creek 10-year, 11-month single barrel from Liquor Barn, which has just been sitting in their store for a while.
See, I like the combo. I like the combo of those two, because when you gave them to me, I was like, I expected the Russells to be good. Like, if you've been listening lately, you know how I kind of feel about recent Russell's picks. But I can't. I know Chad and Sarah would never pick anything that wasn't at least going to be good or great. You know what I mean? Like they're not going to put a stinker in there. So I thought it was good. They've picked better barrels, but I just think all Russells right now are nothing fantastic over the moon. But it was good. But this Knob Creek, man, like I haven't had too many good Knob Creeks lately either, and this one blew my balls off.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, so I did not expect the Knob Creek to be good. I really was expecting to shit on it, and it was fucking amazing.
That's really it. It's been kind of
it's been chaos for you, man.
It has been, and it's been kind of a quiet week as far as like, you know, drinking on anything otherwise.
Yeah.
All right, folks, we have 2 reviews this week.
Ooh, double.
We're doubling up. And you know, when we're not recording in person, episodes go by a little bit quicker, so I figured we would do a couple so we can pad out the runtime a little bit. We're going to start out with a new release from the Garrard Co Distilling Company. It is All Nations. It is a small batch Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey. All Kentucky bourbons. It was distilled in Kentucky, but it was not distilled by Garrard County. It was sourced and it was bottled by them. It's 96 proof. It's a blend of 5 to 7 year old bourbons. $40 a bottle.
Okay. I like that price.
And it's all rye bourbons as well.
Nice.
So it's got 3 mash bills in it. 75% corn, 12% rye, 13% malted barley. 70% corn, 21% rye, and 9% malted barley, and 64% corn, 24% rye, and 12% malted barley. So, again, all Kentucky. I'm not sure of 2 of them, but one of them is definitely the Heaven Hill mash bill.
There you go.
We got that going for us at the very least.
What's the proof? 96 proof.
96 proof. It's got a slight little banana runts nose.
Yeah.
Note to it.
It does have some kind of like artificial fruit.
Yeah.
Some of those like runts, it's like, I know we can pick out banana, but honestly, like a lot of those little runts all smell the exact same. They're just
that is a very good point. That's a very good point.
Yeah, it just it does. It smells like, and it's not a bad thing. Like it is a very reminds me of being a little kid, and I eat any candy no matter what. Like it doesn't matter. It all tastes the same. Yeah, a lot of like artificial fruits on there.
A little bit of leather. But it overall is just a very sweet nose.
It's very sweet.
I would say. Yeah.
All right. Cheers.
All right, brother. Cheers.
I would say if I bought a sub 100 proof $40 bottle of bourbon, I would be okay with this. There's not a lot that stands out. It's kind of right down the line. Like it's still got that artificial fruit flavor. It's still a little sweet. You know, obviously with this proof, I think there's not really much of a finish, but you know what you're getting. You're getting a 96 proof $40 bottle of bourbon.
Yeah, definitely.
That's better than some of these bigger brands who have sub 100 proof $40 bottles of bourbon.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think the age too. I don't know the exact makeup of whatever is 5 to 7 years old in here, but I do think that the 7-year-old component of it is really helping out some of the complexity on it for sure.
It's definitely not just one of these like watered down simple bottles of bourbon. It is
absolutely
got some layers to it. But yeah, I think that extra age in there is helping. I think not putting it at like 90 or 80 proof is definitely helping. And I'm not mad at it. it's just kind of it's just a basic pour to me. Like it's just a basic, let's pour me a basic, ounce of whiskey and here you go.
Yeah. No, I think everything that is in this pour it's very straightforward. It's very honest. It's not really hiding anything. It's just a like, boom, we're ready for you.
Yeah.
Enjoy. And I do enjoy it. I think it's a very, relaxing. I'm not really like thinking too much about it either, which is not always like, I don't think that's necessarily the worst thing in the world too. With some bourbons.
I honestly enjoy the times where I don't want to think about it because I'm not saying that even when we're not recording, like I try to think of everything as content, but I think you do get in a mindset that like, even if you're just by yourself or you're pouring something at home, you kind of start thinking about it too much. And you're like, do I really want that? I like the finish on this and that. And sometimes it is nice to just be like, I'm just pouring some whiskey. I'm just pouring some bourbon. And this fits into that category of bottles that I like, that after I've had a few complex pours, I know that, now I'm just going to chill. I'm just going to pour something I'm not thinking about, and it's good. Got a little bit of proof, a little bit of age, and I could just finish the evening with this. So,
yeah. I'm here for it, man.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just really solid. And again, $40 too for a bottle. It's going to be something that people see on the shelf at a pretty affordable price. Different too. Different packaging, new brand, new label, new name.
I would
and
like
they're going to go. I should, I'm probably going to pick this up just because I've never heard of it before.
Yeah, I would like to see them spice up the packaging a little bit, get a little bit more sexy with that.
Yeah, I being a graphic designer, I was sitting here thinking about it too. I've thought about this label more than I probably need to, because I am not getting paid to think about this label, but
I'd spice it up a little bit.
Yeah, I have ideas.
I think it's I think the whiskey in the bottle deserves a little bit more spice on.
I agree.
On the outside.
I agree.
And that's just me. Like it's good, and I think it may get more people's attention and get them to try it if it was a little bit more. Hey, here we are.
So we've got this new brand. We've got this new, basically unknown company, from folks who were trying to make a name for themselves, right? I wanted to compare this with a bourbon from a maker of whiskeys who has been around for a while and is starting up a new brand after leaving the one that they founded. So before we actually go and do our nose, palate, finish, and price review of All Nations, I want to go ahead and pour up the True Story bourbon. Okay. So this is our second review that we're doing here. This is a finished bourbon. We don't know where it's from. It says it's distilled in Kentucky, but it is finished in white Muscatel casks. And it is 90 proof. This is volume 1 of their bourbons. Not sure, if they're gonna change up their finishing process in the future. How do you, Eric, feel about the packaging on True Story?
Okay.
That good, huh?
Okay, so it definitely sticks out. Like if I see that on a shelf, it's going to stick out. But also, it maybe sticks out in a bad way. Like I know I just said pizzazz sexy, spice it up. This almost looks like a liqueur, like something that I would buy to mix in a cocktail. You know what I mean? Like it looks like it's something else.
Definitely.
It does not look like a whiskey bottle, even though
it gives olive oil.
It reminds me of a secondary product that is going to go into your cocktail. Like you look up the ingredients online, and they're like kombucha, whatever, this bottle to add. Like you need 2 ounces, and you end up, you spend $200 to make one cocktail, and you're like, well, and that looks like a product that I would just be like, where's it at? Where's it at? Where's it at? Oh, there it is. So I don't expect to see that on a whiskey shelf, I guess.
Yeah, I don't hate it because it is so different. But I am in agreement with you that it's almost like they went too far.
Yeah. One of these that we're drinking didn't do enough. The other ones went too far.
Go ahead.
You know what that would look cool like? And they probably can't do it because it's already been done. But if that was like the new riff style, where like they made it like they could start out that color and then clear, and you could see the whiskey in it,
like
and
a
stuff
gradient,
that would look cool and like kind of that new riff style.
What I think it looks almost like you're watching like a future sci-fi show.
Oh, and
it's like this is what the bourbon looks like in the future.
Oh, yeah, I can see that.
This is our Star Wars whiskey bottle.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I can see that. Especially the shape. It's got that.
Yeah, for sure.
All right.
All right, let's check. Let's enough design talk. Let's
we don't ever judge on that, so.
It's inevitable when you have a graphic designer on the podcast that's going to come up. So.
And it's inevitable when you have a guy who doesn't really read or like to read, and it just stuff catches his eye like a child. So it makes sense. That's interesting on the nose.
It's funky.
It's
a funky monkey.
It is funky.
A lot of brown sugar, a lot of cinnamon. It's also got a kind of like fruity berry bouquet thing going on too.
I was going to say, it's almost like if you took like if you took a chocolate cream pie, but you filled the filling with rhubarb, like jelly or something like rhubarb. It's like a weird, like chocolatey rhubarb thing. It's just weird enough to make me kind of be like, this is interesting. Huh. I don't know how I feel about it, but I am intrigued.
Yeah. All right.
All right. Cheers.
Cheers.
Not necessarily the worst thing, but this reminds me of like if I got too much like mint, like some kind of peppermint, spearmint in the back of my throat. You know what I mean? Like whether I'm chewing some gum or cleaning my teeth or something like that. Like it's got this weird like spearmint that like really gets like caught in the back of my throat. I do like the nose way better. I go back to the nose and I appreciate the nose a lot more after I've had a sip. It almost gets kind of like gummy bear bag smell.
Isn't there's something on the palate that reminds me of some kind of ice cream, and I can't figure out what it is.
I mean, it had to be what, like the green kind, the to me this thing
mint
is
chocolate chip or something.
Yeah, like it's a little too much mint, spearmint or something on the back end for me. Maybe this would be good as like the third ingredient in like a $70 cocktail. Like, I think maybe this could be like a puzzle piece that you could use, but I don't know if I drink this by myself.
it does definitely have the vibe of like, this was kind of made for show.
Yeah.
Like, you go to a cocktail competition or you go to a fancy cocktail bar and, you know, the bartender pulls this up and they've got their fancy bitters and they've got their fancy ingredients and everything. And it doesn't really stand out as like a spirit forward cocktail.
Yeah.
You know, it's more like functional, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, you would still get whatever cocktail it is in a Glencairn, but it's not like, it's not about the bourbon,
Right.
necessarily.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't hate this, but I'm not like doing backflips about it either.
No. Do we know how much this cost?
I'm just going to look it up on my phone. My keyboard's blocked by my glasses and the 2 bottles in front of me.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. I don't hate this. I'm enjoying the nose a lot more. It's just so like that one big spearmint note is just overpowering like all my taste buds, even into my nose. Like, it's crazy. Like, if you were like, this is a peppermint finished bourbon, I would be like, well, that's exactly what it was supposed to taste like.
$60.
Ugh.
And it's non-age stated, but according to Breaking Bourbon, the company states that it's over 5 years old.
It definitely doesn't taste like it's like young and grainy. I mean,
Definitely not.
It's finished. It's obviously finished, so maybe that helps out a little bit hiding that. But yeah, I just can't see myself wanting a neat pour of this ever again. You put this in a cocktail of some sort, maybe. And a peppermint, a gingerbread cocktail, peppermint cocktail, a candy cane cocktail.
Yeah.
I'd pretty down for it. And it would look cool.
Yeah.
It would look cool lined up if like they're doing like a presentation and you got like a bottle of like this whiskey and then you got this True Story and then you got all your other stuff. It probably would look cool. I just can't see myself going to this for just a neat pour of whiskey.
Yeah. Now, we started last week our Patreon exclusive segment where we compare what we're reviewing to a certain pour.
Mm-hmm.
And because we're apart and I didn't have the chance to, prepare an Angel's Envy pour, we'll reserve that for next time when we're together. We'll record something separately so that Patreon gets that. So we apologize in advance for that, Patreon. We will do that at a different time. But that will be in the future. I'm sorry. But yeah. It's just, and I also haven't had Angel's Envy in a while. I don't really remember. I don't know if I prefer it over this or not.
100%. The only thing I can think of Angel's Envy wise right now is that rye.
The rye is like leaps and bounds.
That's my favorite Angel's Envy product. So I don't know. I couldn't tell you the last time I had just the normal, like, what is it, the port finish Angel's Envy? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember the last time I had that. I can't tell you nothing about it.
All right. Well, I believe that brings us to the numerated review portion of the podcast, which is nose, palate, finish, and price, with each category being out of 5 and a final score out of 20. Eric, we will start with the All Nations, and then we will go to the True Story. What are you giving the nose on All Nations?
2.5. I think it's there. The nose is there.
Yeah.
You're going to hear me say that number probably consistently through this. It is. It's a 2.5. It's a little bit there. It's not the worst. It's there.
I think I'm also a 2.5 on the nose. Present, enjoyable. Not really doing anything that is blowing me away, but definitely good for sure. Palate, I'm bumping it up to a 3. I think it's just that little bit better. I enjoy this pour again. I'm really sitting here and just having a good time with it. I'm not like, feeling overpowered by anything, but I'm also not, it's giving me exactly what I want from it.
I think the nose and the palate go hand in hand. I think it's a 2.5 again. Like it kind of just goes right down the line. I think my finish drops a little bit. Probably a 2. Okay. There's not. I don't really expect a big finish from this. I would like a little bit more. I would even liked it to just say consistent, but it does fall off pretty quick. And I don't really get anything extra from the finish. Not even like, lining out with the palate and the nose. So a 2.
I'm a 2.5 on the palate, or excuse me, on the finish. Same. It just kind of like stays right there. Yeah. Not really going anywhere, but yeah, a little bit of a quick drop off.
Yeah.
But price at $40.
I'm actually a 3. I think that is I think that's a good point of this. Like they didn't try to like, we're a new brand. We got, 7-year bourbon in this. It's over 90 proof. We're going to charge $50, $60. I think that's probably I'm okay with the price on this.
Yeah.
Would I line this up against stuff that's probably $20 to $30? Yeah, I think it stands in line. But they could have made it a lot more expensive, and they didn't. So I'll give it a 3.
Yeah. 3.5 for me. So, I think it's something you should pick up. I think a lot of people are looking at, especially these lower proof bottles, as something that they are trying to alternate with some of their higher proof pours as well. Do I think it could have been a little bit cheaper? Maybe, but I also know, of course, that it's sourced and they're trying to probably make a little bit of money back off of their, the sourcing of it all. Right. So I get it. It's fine. 3.5 for me. So overall, I believe I'm an 11.5 out of 20.
I think I was a 10. So, I mean, that's kind of how I gauge this. This is right down the middle.
Right. And I'm just slightly over.
Yep.
So I get it. True Story Bourbon, though.
Okay.
Volume 1. What do you get in the nose?
Nose, honestly, the nose has grown on me a lot. It's a 3.5.
Yeah, it has me too. I'm also a 3.5.
I don't know if that says anything about the palate, but it made me appreciate the nose even more. But it's a great nose. Like I smell like I'm opening like a pack of like gummy bears or something. I really do like this nose. Going into the palate, a little rough. I give it a 2.
We're in agreement there too. As well.
If they could figure out a way to make this nose and palate align, it would be a great pour.
I think it's missing. I really think it's missing just older stock.
Yeah,
I think that's what it is. I think it's just it feels thin on the palate, and I think if it was balanced a little bit more, I think truly, if it is just 5-year-old stock, if it was like 5 and maybe even like 5 and 7-year-old, or 5 and 9 or whatever, I think it would have a much better balance to it. Yeah. I think it's just on its own. It's not really doing it for me either. So yeah, I'm also a 2 on the palate, unfortunately. So Finish is like non-existent.
I don't even know if I can score a 1.
I'm also giving it a 1.
Yeah.
Sorry,
I
guys.
know it's there, but like it's not there.
Yeah.
There's
There's just not much to it.
Yeah.
Is the problem. So, unfortunately, $60 a bottle. I again like the presentation. I think it's cool for what it is. Very likely they are trying to, again, mitigate some kind of, some kind of investment, I suppose. So I get it. I just wish it were a little bit better.
Yeah. I'm giving it a 1.5. I mean, after tasting it,
it's a 2 for me.
yeah. So I am at an 8.
I am also at an 8.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Right?
It is what it is. If you're not, somebody will let you know. Don't worry.
I know they will. I'm probably it's probably an 8 or an 8.5 or something. I don't know.
They're pretty close.
Whatever.
We were pretty close. So
yeah, I mean, pick up the All Nations. I think over the True Story. Give Wes and the Hendersons and True Story some time to figure this out. I think I've had the rye before as well. I can't remember. And apparently, I just don't remember it enough to say one way or another, which probably is not a good thing.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So, anyway. Can't all be Blantons, I guess.
That's the truth. That's a good T-shirt. They can't all be Blantons, baby.
We do have one barrel ring
Oh, okay.
this week.
Let's hear it.
This is the segment of the show that you, dear listener and viewer, can participate in if you would like to. By calling and leaving a voicemail or sending a text to 859-428-8253. Once again, that's 859-428-8253. Oh, you said it as well.
859-428-8253.
And it is from our buddy Jared.
Oh, that guy.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Jared here. W Lab. You probably missed it, but there was a time when there were those of us that called into barrel rings all the time, weekly sometimes, and the general public hated it and they complained, and so they yanked the whole segment because everyone hated it. And so now that it's back, really trying hard not to break it again. That's why I don't call in. But for Perry and Eric, your math skills are terrifyingly bad. So real quick, for figuring out the percentages for a blend, my 8 and 12-year-old figured this out at dinner, but whatever. If you have something that's 2 parts, 2 parts, 1 part, you add all those parts together, so it's 5, and then the percentage from each individual part would be the parts for that divided by 5. So
right.
2 part, 2 part, 1 part would be 2/5, 2/5, 1/5, 40%, 40%, 20%. And that's how you do. Easy peasy, Perry squeezy.
So he's talking about how a couple weeks ago, we were trying to figure out the percentages on a blend of something, and we were struggling hard with it. I mean, real tough. What's wrong? What are you doing?
I just heard Jared talking for a while, and at the end, math, and I just blacked out. So I don't know anything that he said.
But it was so simple, and we made it so unnecessarily complicated.
I will not change my life and the way I do things. I will make things complicated.
It's fine. It's fine.
And I know
it was just very funny because like in the moment, you and I were like trying to do this insane math. And then when I went back and edited it, I was like, no, wait, it's like 2 parts, 1 part. And I was like, that's, it was exactly what Jared was talking about. And we didn't do a great job with it. So.
Hey, what are you gonna do?
Oh, well, like I said, arts degree.
Yeah, I don't have a degree.
You have like multiple degrees. Stop it.
I know. I suck at math though, so I just ask other people how to do my math when it comes to my job. So they do the math for me.
That was Barrel Rings. Again, if you want to participate in it, 859-428
8253.
High Proof Hot Takes. It's a portion of the show where if we've had something that's been bugging us, we rant about it for a second.
High Proof Hot Take. If you have a job, go to your job.
If you have a job.
Don't expect to be able to just work whenever you want to. Like if you have like a set thing to do. Like I'm not saying like if you have your own thing, you can set your own schedule. I'm saying if you have a job, just do your job. That's all. God bless. That's all I have to say.
I don't disagree with that, but I feel like
understand.
a lot of so many of our High Proof Hot Takes are like, people are terrible at driving. People are terrible at doing their job.
People are terrible at life.
I don't have anything. I'm thankful I'm not sick.
That's true. Stay healthy, bro.
I'm trying. Tips and bits.
Tips and bits.
What is Tips and Bits, Eric?
Tips and Bits is a segment of the show where we talk about something that we're reading, we're watching, we're listening to, something we would recommend, and usually it's not whiskey related, although sometimes they kind of blend together and they are related, but it's stuff we're doing outside of whiskey.
You know, something else I've been drinking recently is C924, Elijah Craig Barrel Proof. Actually turned out to be a pretty good batch. More I've gone back to it.
Good.
So, what do you have to recommend, Eric?
Well, Hot Ones started a new season, and our boy Stavros was on it, and it was magnificent.
Dude, I am committed. I am committed to getting him on the podcast. I think it is perfectly within our reach to get him on the show.
He brought his own ranch to Hot Ones.
That was the funniest thing in the world. He brought like 14 ranches on the show.
So good.
It was so fun. And, you know, I am such an advocate for Stavros Halkias. I think he is the most genuine person who has achieved any level of fame right now. I think he is just, no matter what I have seen him on, no matter what, like, you know, podcast, whatever, stream, whatever show, he's just himself every single time. And it's so funny because I've seen him unfiltered in so many different settings that and it's not that like Hot Ones is this like hyper polished, really like PG oriented kind of show. But it almost caught me off guard when he started swearing as much as he does during Hot Ones, where I was like, oh, whoa, wait a minute. This is reserved for when you're like hanging out with your friends on Twitch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it did not feel right. But then I was like, oh no, that's just Stavi. Yeah. Like that's just who he is. And he just is the most himself person, I think. And I think that's why, like, you know, one of the things that he always advocates for is no matter who you are, no matter how you look or how you know, what your personality is. Like, anybody can be a 7, right?
Yeah.
Anybody can be a 7. And you look at Stavi, and he is not the most like conventionally attractive person.
Oh, he's sexy as hell though.
But he is.
He is.
And
bro.
he will always talk about like I'm trying to like censor this because my children are out there. But like, he gets girls, you know?
Yeah. Half of his
Like
jokes, like he said on Hot Ones, is about busting too soon.
Yeah, exactly.
He said that on Hot Ones.
It's so good. And like that's just part of it too, man. Like, you know, I think if you want to feel good about yourself too, Stavi Baby is one of those people where you gotta like listen to his comedy and just watch him and feel like you don't have to take yourself so seriously all the time.
Yeah.
You know?
My tips and bits. Perry's recommended Hot Ones a bajillion times. I'm recommending this episode, and then we're both recommending that you, whether you listen to his podcast, watch his stand-up, watch his all the stuff he's on. Stavros, man. Stavros is the next big thing. He's already a big thing, but I think he's like, this is going to be a big year for him, like going forward.
Oh, so, completely. Yeah. And he's going to be on Timbip too.
Yeah. He's on Timbip. And he's going to do laugh.
I'm committing to it.
He's going to do that laugh, and then I'm going to laugh, and I'm going to cry of happiness.
We're going to have him drink whiskey, and it's going to be a great time. I'm going to get on the horn this afternoon, or maybe tomorrow since today's Sunday. And that way that email doesn't get lost in anybody's inbox. And we're going to make it happen.
All right, let's do it.
We're going to make it happen. I had something else I was going to say about. Oh, I was going to say, I had this comment on, whose episode of Hot Ones was it? But you know how on Hot Ones, DJ Khaled tapped out after like the first wing?
Yeah.
You know, and he goes on these like horrible, just like pseudo intellectual rants, you know, throughout his episode. And like Sean is making fun of him the whole time too. And it's just like, it's just bad. Like, it's just a bad episode.
It's not a good episode.
And it's, what's the Action? I think it's Action Bronson is the episode that I watched like almost immediately afterwards. And Action like starts out kind of like level-headed, kind of like, I don't really know about this, like I feel kind of anxious about it, you know, let's see how it goes. But then he starts really like opening up, and he like eats more of these wings, and he starts feeling like, you know, you can tell that there's like actual like sincerity behind him, and he's got some like lived experience, and when he speaks, he has like truth to him.
Yeah.
And I watched that episode, and this episode came out like 7 or 8 years ago, okay? And I first watched this episode maybe a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, and I left a comment on it that said, Action Bronson is the guy that DJ Khaled thinks he is. Okay? That comment keeps getting liked like every single day.
That's your viral comment.
It's my viral comment on Hot Ones, and it keeps getting comments of like, "Oh my gosh, this is so true." I've never seen a more true comment. Like, dude, you hit the nail on the head and everything. It's so funny that it. So if you go on that video, it's like one of the top comments on there.
Yeah.
So
Shout out to Action Bronson. Best New
Dude's
Balance, best New Balance collabs. Like, I get, even if I pay secondary, I always get his shoes. Like, my favorite New Balances. Yeah, if they watch the episode where I did a solo episode recently while you're on paternity.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I put one of his shoes up there. So shout out to him, and he's a chef. He has a cooking show also. So
I forgot about that. Yeah.
So
I got a couple of things too. Mostly stuff you can watch. Actually, I'm just gonna do all the stuff that you can watch.
Your mouth. When you talk to me like that.
Yes, behave.
Yeah.
Heathen. The first one is actually I'll do two that are. I never recommend these because they're usually terrible, but they're usually terrible. But there were two fan films that I watched.
Oh God!
This week on YouTube.
And
they actually turned out to be pretty good.
I'm going to pour up some of this Knob Creek right now.
All right, go for it. Go for it. Why not? The first one was kind of a like proof of concept for why David Howard Thornton, also known as Art the Clown, should play the Joker.
Oh Lord!
In the DCU. It's called Joker's Wild. The makeup is not good. The whole concept is okay, but his performance as the Joker is really, really good. Again, it's called Joker's Wild. It revolves around him having captured Jason Todd, the second Robin.
Oh, he gets all crowbar on him.
It's brutal, dude.
Yeah,
it's pretty brutal. I enjoyed it. The second one is called The Spider. Oh. And it is a horror take on Peter Parker's origin story. And it's crazy. I mean, it follows him after getting bitten by the spider.
Does he actually turn into a spider like in the comic?
He turns into something.
Oh, boy.
He turns into something. I don't want to spoil it because it's not very long.
Shoot me those links.
Oh, I definitely will. The guy that plays Peter Parker is the kid from The Walking Dead.
Oh, Carl?
Yeah, Carl.
Yeah.
He's really good, too. I mean, it's only like...
He was good in Walking Dead, yeah.
8 minutes or whatever. And then a full feature-length movie... It's hailed as like one of the best movies that came out last year. Don't watch it with your kids.
Fast and Furious.
No. Oh. Honora.
I've heard about this.
It is so good.
I gotta watch it.
I watched it. I watched it last week. I rented it on I think it was Apple TV. Just incredible, heartbreaking, but still just funny and some really good uplifting moments too. But you really just feel for the main character, Annie, Honora, the main character, and just a fantastic movie. There's in basically about halfway through the film, there is an extended scene that feels like it takes about 30 minutes, and it's just in one room, and it's incredible. I mean, like I was like, oh, we haven't left. We haven't left this room. And it just keeps giving and giving and giving, and it's so good. I mean, just phenomenal. Anyway.
Yeah, I got that on my list.
That's what I got this week. Yeah. But that's what I got this week. We need to get out of here because I got to put one of my kids down for a nap.
Well, let's go. If you want to take a nap, go to patreon.com/mybourbonpodcast for as little as $1 a month. You can support the show. And at $5, you get all the bonus stuff. I was going to say you want to take a nap after you've had so much content that your whole body is like overwhelmed. Go there.
I got you.
We will give you extra episodes each week. The pregame chats, either Pop Chicka Wawa, Sample Irresistible, or Pours from the Floor. And you get this episode early, uncut, before anybody else. The best place to support the show and get all the bonus stuff. And it'll wear you out and you'll sleep good at night. If you also want to sleep good at night in some comfy like merch, you can go to bourbonshop.douglas.com. Perry's got all the designs up there. You get some merch. If you want to send an email, you can send an email to thisismybourbonshop@gmail.com. If you want to send us a sample or a snack or anything to review, pair, or whatever, you can send it to P.O. Box
22609 Lexington, Kentucky 40522.
I promise I'm going to memorize that one and add it, and I can do that all. If you want to follow us on all social media, you can follow me at Whiskey Meeting. You can follow Perry at PRitter1792, and you can follow the show as a whole at This Is My Bourbon Pod, or at My Bourbon Pod. Sorry. And then like, comment, subscribe, do all the stuff. Anything helps. We like to read out reviews. We'll read good ones. We'll read bad ones. Whatever you want to do, put them up there. We're there for it.
We don't have any new reviews.
Well, see, you need to do it. And then just, Facebook. We have a Facebook group. This is My Bourbon Podcast on Facebook. Also, there's a Discord group. If you join the Patreon, there's a lot of activity going on in there. A lot of turds, a lot of good people, a lot of bad people. It's the Thunderdome in there. So just pre-warn you. And that's it. That's an episode.
It is indeed. Thank you all so much, as always. Sorry that we're rushing out of here at the end, but I need to go be a dad. So
cheers.
We love you. Cheers. Thank you so much, as always. We'll see you real soon. Until next time, though, I'm Perry.
I'm Eric.
And this is My Bourbon Podcast.
It is.
Nobody can deny that.